Taoist Magic Talk Show brought to you by Taoist Master Ji Sifu and King Dragon Taoism. ผู้亮天尊. Hi everyone, this is me here, your Ji Sifu again. Welcome back to another super exciting episode. Well, as you know, our episodes are always super exciting, but this one is a little bit more exciting than your normal kind of exciting. Why? Because we are bringing you some very, very, very rare stuff that you cannot find outside, and I don't think any master will dare to even leak this out to you, because once they do, well, they don't look so master anymore. So this is one of the Taoist secret, okay, one of the ancient technology that you will not know if you really like it's outside of this thing. And well, even you're inside the lineage, you might not even know until you get to a very high level. So, let's say, okay, let's say you learn a spell. You learn a spell. I will give an example. For example, those of you who are new initiates of this lineage, you have a heart spell, okay? It goes like that. I'm going to recite it clean and clear. That's how you learn it, right? Sam no zu xia zai qia, dai hen wei ning, give you your name 10x nu ning xia qia ning. Okay, that's how the spell goes. It's in the dialect called Samnonese, which is the dialect that we use in our lineage. It is a special dialect. You can imagine, like in China, there are many villages. Different village, they speak the same language, but differently, like a little bit different with their own accent and vibe. So this is like our dialect in the lineage. So it sounds a little bit like this, a little like that, but it's not really that, okay? But anyway, that's how you learn it. And now, here's the thing. A lot of people entered our lineage, they might be like totally not Chinese. Like they could be purely just a, white, black, whatever, right? Not Chinese. They don't know any Chinese. Now, here's the thing. Language barrier turns a lot of people away. Oh, it's in Chinese. I don't know what to say. I don't know what it means. And then you kind of feel like this is not for you. Like if you tell me to learn something in Korean, I'm like, right? I know how that feels, right? Like at this age, you need me to learn a new language. Oh my God. It is so hard, right? Unless I'm like really, really, really in love with maybe like, I really want to watch Korean drama, then I will really like learn a few phrases here and there and, for fun. But learning the whole language is another thing. All right. Now, here is the secret. You don't need to learn Chinese to learn the Taoist magic. But then the spells are in Chinese. Yeah, they're in Chinese, but you learn it, but using it is another thing. Okay? Now, how about this? Sam no chu xia zai jia, dai hen wei ning, give you 10 extra ning jia jia ning. Okay? Now, how about you recite it faster? Something. It becomes like training. Right? It's like, huh? That's not even Chinese anymore. Can you tell? Something. You can tell, right? So, yeah. Let me recite another spell, okay? If I recite it slowly, or even like when I'm chanting, it sounds like that. Okay, let me do a spell. Okay, this is when I'm chanting. Right? You see, like you hear me chant like that at the altar with instruments and things like that when I'm cultivating or doing a ceremony. That's a spell. And you're like, oh my God, I need to do that. Yeah, okay. But if, like, let's say this spell, okay, this is like the mouth cleansing spell. So if I need to use this spell in a practical situation, like when I really need to use the magic, that kind of thing, it will be like this. Like, what? Yeah, it's like very quick, right? And then it's kind of like you write like a doctor, suddenly the spell become like, like one line, one dot, very short. And it can be almost anything. And why is that so? It can be even just a blah. Why is that so? Now here, I will explain a little bit about the word intention. Intention is not the exact English word that I should be using, but it's a stepping stone. Okay, I'll explain the details. In Chinese, we have a word for this. It's called nim in Cantonese. Nim. Okay, in Somali it's nem. Okay, so what does that mean? It's kind of like intention, but let me explain what I'm trying to say. Okay, nim is like the reason of why you do something. It could be intention in your dictionary, but exactly to be precise is at the moment, why do you do this? Once you have that thought, that is already the nim. Okay, so for example, you want to eat McDonald's, burgers, fries, right? Now in your head, you already have like that thought, and you know what you want to get already, right? So that little spark moment, if let's say you have a friend, and the friend really knows you so well, and you don't even like need to say anything. The friend went to McDonald's with you all the time, and you always just order the chicken burger. Okay, you only order that thing every time you go. There's no way you order other things. So you just like look at your friend, and then you like do this, blinking with the eyes or something, and your friend already immediately oh, okay, chicken burger. And you're like, okay, you understand, right? That is because they read your heart. That's the nim. That's the intention. All right, it's that little spark moment, that little thing, that just like one drop of essence. It contains the whole message already. The gods and deities, they read that, and not like when you elaborate and spread it out and make it like into human form. The human read like text, letters, characters, right? We need a language. They don't. So why did you do this? The why is already there before you actually said it. Like you already have a reason for doing that, right? Okay, let's say whenever I knock the door 3 times, it's equals to I'm going outside. I set that agreement before with you. So I go to your door and knock 3 times. You know I'm going outside. You know already. Why? Because I told you before. That's an agreement, right? You understand what I mean by that. So when I do it, it means that. You get it, right? That's exactly what that ancient hacking technology is about. It's about how God understands us, how God read what we're trying to say. When you have like, for example, now here's a situation that a lot of people will kind of confuse or misunderstand, because in the drama or movie, right, it's often like this. You want to talk to the God, right? You take the incense, burn incense, and then you hold the incense in front of the altar, looking at the God statue, and then they speak. Oh, God, today I am like this and that, It's normal. Like, you will say, things like that. It's normal. But you know what? The God already got your message by the second you hold that incense and light it up. The message is sent already. It's like they got it already. They know because they already read it. It's like that moment where you light the incense, that spark moment, 1 second, boom, and then it's already there. They read what we call your intention. They don't read all that stuff afterward. Okay, so if you want to talk to God, like you just need to, have it in your head why, like what you want to tell them, and then you do that action. For example, you go to the altar, you burn incense, and then like you bow. The time you bow, the message is sent already. You don't need to stand there and then keep talking. You don't even need that. You can just like burn incense, bow, and boom, and the message is done. But a lot of people don't feel so secure and firm because they're like, well, but like I haven't said it. I'm not really sure if the God got it or not. Like I'm kind of, shaky about this, right? Maybe the God didn't hurt the other part. Well, if you're not sure, then you can keep going, right? But in reality, the God already got your message 100% when you have that intention. You see, God don't need words. They don't need your words. Okay, look, we have some Taoism food, right? Those food, the paper with those like red secret writings, and then they're like stamps over it and so on, right? The magical paper. You understand what I'm talking about. So some people are like asking me, how come like your writing is like like very speedy, cursive? Like I can't even read what you wrote. And I tell them, you don't need to. This is not for you to read. The God reads it. You don't read it, right? I can write the whole food in one line, one thought. It doesn't matter. I know what I'm writing. Like why I wrote that, I know what I'm writing. It's like, the doctors, they write prescriptions and you can't even read the prescription, right? They know what they're writing, and the people at the pharmacy, they also know what the doctor means because it's like, oh, this kind of, they look at the shape and you kind of get it, right? And then, okay, I know what to give you. Like they know. It's just like that kind of relationship with the God. So the Taoists don't need to have like really perfect or artistic skills to write food. Oh, well, of course, if you have great skills in calligraphy and you write some nice words, nice calligraphy, art, nice looking, pretty words. Well, I'm sure like if you sell the food, it will cost a little bit more because people are like buying your artwork, right? But it doesn't mean that your food is going to work more than the others. It has nothing to do with the effectiveness and the power of the food. The power of the food comes from the God, not your writing. It's like the doctor. The doctor can write very nice and you still get the medicine. The doctor can just scribble over the page and you still get the same medicine. Okay? It doesn't matter. You got to understand, like, look beyond the surface. That God is like just talking to you, agreeing to that ticket. And the ticket doesn't need to look nice. So, like, in the restaurant, right? They write tickets and then put it into the kitchen. Now the chef know what to cook. As long as the chef understands and agrees with those like little codes, it's fine. You can scribble anything that they know and then it will work. You don't need to spend all that time writing nice. However, there are people who try to write nicer. Well, yeah, sure. It's fine. It's okay to do that. It's just that I'm saying you don't need to in order for the food to work. There was a story I read online. There was a very rare female Chinese doctor in Hong Kong. I forgot Hong Kong or China, but anyway, there, right? So she was like having like very neat handwriting. She write like, wow, like a poet, like super nice handwriting. And she just graduated from university and like the med school, right? And then she became a doctor. So she started writing like super nice prescription. Everyone were like, wow, this doctor writes stuff so nice. I like the first time I see it is like, wow, like, this is like a rare finding. So people started like posting her prescription like on the social media, and then they shared and everyone like share around and it got viral, right? So people ask her, why do you write so nice? And she thinks like, well, this is like, I just want to write nice. It's kind of like my style. I think it should be like that, whatever, right? And then you know what? After a while, she don't understand. And then the other experienced doctor were laughing at her, like, you write like this? Are you kidding? People are laughing at her, and she still insists. After a few years, she changed. Why? Because the thing is, she got to accept reality. Because she started working, and then more and more and more patients kicked in. She started working at the hospital and have to write for like so many people a day. Every day, there are like thousands of people lining up for her to write the prescription. Okay, think about it. Thousands of paper. Write nice every day, your hand's gonna be gone. And the most importantly, people are rushing, right? People are waiting for you to help, and you're like spending that much time to write the ticket. So what happened to the people behind? They get mad. Why is this doctor so slow? They don't look at her writing anymore. They just say, why is she so slow? Right? From like sharing the picture saying that she write nice to saying that she is so slow, and then eventually she got complaints more than compliment because of that slowness. And now she know why every experienced doctor write like that, because there's no time to waste. You know what you're gonna write. They know, like, the prescription goes to the pharmacy. The pharmacy people know how to read those scribbles, right? You just scribble everything and then get it done. Come on, next one. More people get help, more people get saved. That's the main point of you being a doctor, not being like an artist crafting your stupid paper and then like wasting everyone's time because you want to be an artist, right? You want to be an artist, you go be an artist. You don't go be a doctor. So that is one real life story. And as a Taoist, you got to understand, like, our main goal is not being a performer or a calligraphy artist. So what is the goal of all these magic? Well, the goal is to get the God to know what you want and then bring the power over to you and help you or help others. That's the main point. Communicating with the God of your lineage, asking them for help, bring their power over and deploy them to where it is needed. That's the main point. So to make that happen, you can use many methods, but it's all about a truthful, honest, two-way communication. We use fu because they are a way to communicate. It's like you can write a ticket to the God and then ask the God for help. Okay? You can use a spell. A spell is like a shortcut message that you say with the mouth, and you can call the God for help. Like different ways to call the God for help. You have hand signs, you have, body gesture, many methods, but it's all about communicating with the God. The God reads what you want to say or what you want to, express, not because of the words, not because of your writing, not because of what you say, but because of your intention. That is the property of their dimension. They read the pre-heaven energies. And for us, the pre-heaven energies are all in our pre-heaven energy body, which is where our energy heart is. And when we have the intention, like why we do this and such, it's all there in the heart. It's those energy, right? And in that dimension, we call it the dimension 1. In the dimension of your pre-heaven energy body, there's no time. I mean, like, there's no time, as in, like, time does not exist in that dimension. So basically, imagine if time is not a thing. You don't need time to listen to something. You don't need time to travel. Like, you just, a thought and boom, it changed right away. Right? That's how fast it is in that dimension. So for the gods to actually know something or to fulfill something for you, no need the time. It's instant. So you might be thinking, well, the gods are far away. If I call them, maybe it takes a long time for them to come over. No, it's instant. Like, there's no time restriction in that dimension. Okay, so here is another secret, another gem. Okay, this gem is for our disciples mostly because it's very, very practical for our disciples who are already learning the magic. You got some heart spells. Okay, when you ordain, you have some heart spells. The heart spells, well, if you actually went to our website, you go to the lowest section, there's a hidden, like a small menu, and there's one that say internal podcast. In there, I talked about the heart spell as well. It's like a baby lesson, so you can like listen to that. But anyway, the heart spell calls the god for help for their powers. Okay, different gods, different purposes. So you have a few heart spell to use, right? Now, here's the thing. Newbie will recite the heart spell like this to get help. Sam no zu xia zai cha, dai hen wei ning, give you hen x nu ning, chia chia ning. Stomp the left foot, and then short finger, whatever, right? And okay, so that's newbie. You learn like this, no problem, okay, when you first started. But you know what? Actual magic doesn't work like that. Like it does, but this is like a baby stage. Okay? Once you got the heart spell practice for like, for example, 100 days and about, you remember the heart spell already. You memorized it already, right? So the heart spell is like you can say it without thinking about it. Okay, now whenever you need that heart spell, you call up the memory of the heart spell, the nim. Okay, you just need that like little snap memory. Okay, let's say your phone number is 647-321-5218. Okay, you know your phone number. So I say, now think of your phone number. Okay, I thought of it. Right, just that little snap moment. That's like I know. But did you actually repeat the same number in your head? No, you didn't. You just thought of your phone number and you remember. Do you remember? Yes, I do. Okay. Now, if I tell you to, okay, say it. Now you go like 647, right? So the moment you say, yeah, I remembered it. Like I give it a thought. That moment is already like containing the whole phone number inside. Now, here's the danger zone. Okay. If you're like, okay, yeah, I remember, and they're like that, and then when I tell you to say it out, you forgot. Like 64722 like that, then that means your one drop of essence don't contain everything. Like it's not inside, it's not real. Okay, so if you recite a spell, the whole spell is like, you know, for example, the whole spell has like 10 character, right? 10 words, and you forgot 2 words when I tell you to like elaborate. Then when you go like one sound, you know, and then that's my intention. Now your intention doesn't work like that because you forgot the spell already. The spell is not complete in your heart. So you gotta have enough practice in order to use like the quick form of the spell. If you already know the spell inside and memorized it, then you can use it like this. So how do you call up the god with the heart spell? You don't close your eyes and slowly recite it inside like a newbie. You just need to close your eyes, think of the heart spell, and stomp the left foot right away. That's it. That's it. Okay, that's it. So heart spells are like that, and most spells are also like that in when we use them for the practical purpose. And you see, it's so quick, you don't even need to like breathe, like go back and think about it. You don't even need to like think. You just, you know who you're finding. Right? You just stomp your foot, mostly just like you stomp your foot, and that already, like the spell is there already. It's snap moment like that. And you call the god already, and then you tell the god what you want. And other thing is, magic sometimes work without you actually saying it. Like without you actually doing the magic, God will be there helping you already. For example, because like when you get ordained, there's already a God put into you, like inside your body, to follow you and help you. That's what your heart spell is calling up, those gods inside your body. So when you're like walking around doing things, the gods are there. Okay? And So if the God sees, for example, you have danger, or you're scared, or you are whatever, like whatever situation that you need the help, okay, your heart just need to like have that feeling, like you want God's help, that feeling. Your God inside will already go help you. So you don't need to actually like, let me do the magic and then, do all this physical stuff for the magic to kick in. So as you see, as a newbie, if you have been like, daily doing your cultivation, your practice with the heart spell and everything, if you have been doing that, right? You know what? Actually, you are like, everything you're doing, if your heart is always there, like you feel, or I should say, like you should be like, believe the gods are always there to helping you, okay? If your heart and your mindset is like that, whatever you do, you just need to like kind of think about, like give it a little thought. I need more help. Like I need more help, right? Like that. And then the God will be already empowering things and doing things for you without you actually doing the physical magic and trying to make it better. Or maybe avoiding the hurdles or avoiding the bad things happen and whatever. The God's already like giving you the help without you actually having to do the physical action. Because the God's are already there, right? And imagine it's like if you have like a relative or a friend who really knows you. So sometimes like I need to say it. Can you please bring me the sugar? Can you please give me the sandwich? Like I need to say it out to express what I want from the other person, and then they'll give me the stuff, right? But if they're like really close to you, like you guys eat breakfast together all the time, right? So you just like kind of need to look at the person and they already know, oh, napkin. Okay, like just hand you the napkin. Without you actually saying it, they already know what you want. So same to magic. The gods, when you ordain, there's like the God inside your body already, right? It's given to you when you're ordained. So whenever like anything, like you just need to give it a thought. Oh, it would be nice if the God helped me this, right? The God help me this, help me this. You just need a little thought. It's not even like a Chinese word. You just give it a thought. Like, I need more help. This thing, help. This thing, help. This thing, boost. Just a little thought inside your mind. Your eyes will act like the camera, the lens of your camera for the God to see. So whatever you see, the God can see. Whatever you hear with your ears, your God can hear. Your senses are the God senses. So whatever you sense, hear, see, it's all like, those things are all like shared with the God. So you look at the door and then your mind is like, oh, like, please protect this, guard this, lock it, like that. You just have that thought in your mind. The God is already helping you. And you're already using the magic power like that, naturally. It's just that simple. Now, however, if you have not ordained, of course, this is not going to happen because there's no God put inside your body, right? But if you have not ordained and you do the same thing, you know what? It's actually your own heart, your energy heart, that is like sparking a little bit of its energy onto everything that has that thought over there. So if you, for example, you're cooking, right? And your mind has a little thought about like, oh, if the guy, eat it, will be happier, that will be nice. And you just have that thought, and that's why you're cooking it. Your own energy heart is going to like empower the food, and it will give that energy on the food. So it also does something magical naturally, just that maybe you won't call that magic, but it is like energy work going on, and you're like empowering the food already because of the thought. Instead of like getting the God to help you, which is like a cultivated higher level spiritual power, right? Instead of that helping you, you have your own energy, body's energy, the heart, outputting the power to do that. But as a Taoist, you have the heart spell, you have the gods cultivated inside your body. It's a totally different thing. And you can, of course, connect to the higher powers that are not in your body, like they're like higher above, And you can use different spells to call those gods up and have their power to go into things. And it's like very, very, very sophisticated. Okay, you have like special gods cultivated for special things. For example, I have a, well, let's say I bought a new weapon, a new gun, right, for self-defense. Well, I have a god that deals with those weapon stuff. Then I can call that god up to empower these weapons. And that will be specifically using that power for these things, and they are like related. So as you use that god more, like it's special power. It's like, everything related to weapon, to martial art, I'll get this god to help me. And then for the kitchen, every kitchenware, I will get my, like, for example, the kitchen god to help me. Anything related to, let's say, home improvement, renovation, I'll get my landlord deity to help me. Things are like that. Like gods have their specialties. Okay. In Taoism, we have like different gods, not just one god, right? You have one main god of the lineage, but then there are many other gods that are like special. They have like their special powers or uniqueness, and these are like. It's not like you have so many gods. Why do you need so many? Like one is powerful enough. It's not about that, okay? In our theory, it's like this. We believe that people like having a smart person, a CEO or something to host a company is important. But you need to have the employees and the different professionals working for the different jobs so that they can focus on doing what they should be doing, right? The CEO has his job. I mean, like our main god. The main god has his job, okay? And then you have the other god that are doing the smaller job, the other special stuff, the different subject. And that is how you can cultivate each god into a special, unique god that actually will be focused in that subject. Then that is how the god gets stronger because they're more focused. When a god power is focused into one subject, it will be more condensed, focused. Like imagine, like something is more, what's the word? Pure, right? Like you want something to be like orange. Well, just purely add orange. Don't add blue, don't add a bit of green, right? The more pure the god is, the stronger it is. And how do you get a god to be pure? Well, it needs to focus into one subject, one thing, or one direction that is pure. This god takes care of everything about the kitchen. This god takes care of everything about the washroom. This god deals with everything of like land and property. This god deals with all the exorcism work. This god deals with like wealth and luck and career things, like that. Right? That's how Taoism works. That's why we have so many gods. And you might ask, well, how do you have so many gods? You make them. Right? Now here we talk about the main god that you have, right? The main god is like, it's like you have flour, right? And then you use that flour to clone or like to split one of it, some flour out, and then you make something out of it with the flour. Like you use the same flour, right? You can make bread, you can make pasta, you can make other things, right? So flour is like kind of neutral, but you use the neutral thing to make other things. So we cultivate this thing which we call san gong, is like the cultivation of God. You have the main god and like a few foundation elements like gods, and you can use those to create different gods that is like fitting what subject you want. Like we have some god that is cultivated like that. Some you can create yourself, right? Like for example, I am a carpenter. I deal with woodwork. Well, in the lineage right now, we don't have a specific carpenter god. So you can create one, and then you cultivate that god. give it a name, give it a profile, like playing a game. You give it a property, right? A name, a profile, some outlook, right? Some basic stuff. And then we cultivate the god. And then whenever you are doing carpenting things, right, you inform the god about it. And, you just ask the god for help all the time. The god starts to understand you more. And then you will be able to have this special god to help you with all the woodworking stuff. So that is exactly why it's called San Gong. We cultivate God. We make God. It's very cool. And you might think, well, so that means like your God is not real or whatever, right? Let me tell you what. All the religion in this world are like that too. Just that they don't package it or explain it the same way, maybe. Okay? But it's always like people are starting with a god, and then they name it, make it a profile, and then they invest into it, and they withdraw from it. Invest what? They invest the faith, like their belief, right? They believe in it. They invest their time and energy into it, like how they pray and talk and worship, right? And then they withdraw the power, asking the God for help. And then they withdraw that power from the same account, from the same God. And then eventually, people will split clones of the same God. For example, someone believes this God, so they join that temple. After a while, they will want a statue of the same God at home. So they bought a statue and then get it consecrated from the temple. And then now that God split a clone, follow this guy home. And now it's on the new altar. There you go. A clone of the same God. Every religion works like that. Just that they don't explain it that way, maybe. Okay. But it's basically the same concept. Okay. So now, one more thing. Okay, one more thing. We're going back to the practical magic work. Okay, so when we are talking to the god, you see, you don't need to actually say the whole spell for the magic to be done, right? So you can have a thought of whatever, and then the god already knows, and so on. It's like, think about it. It's so simple, so easy, so fast, right? How can you ensure that whatever you did have got the god's attention or help versus it's just yourself thinking about it and that's it. It's just yourself. How can you tell? Well, there are two ways. Okay, one is the best way, which is you already knew because you believe the God, right? You have faith in the God. You believe the God. So you have a thought about wanting the God's help as an agreement in the lineage. You will already got the help. So that is basically like a no-brainer. You have a thought of wanting the help will be there already. Okay? There's a phrase in the magic stuff, the magic language. It's called 假念假用, 假念假用. It means immediately there's a thought, and immediately there's a response, immediate, okay, instant. So you don't need to doubt because you have that thought of request that God will be there for you no matter what. There's no exception. And other way, if you are in doubt or whatever that day for some reason and just want to make sure because something is super important and you cannot miss it, right? So if you have that kind of situation, you can use a tool we call the divination tool, and you can check with the God by using that tool and ask the God is the empowerment done or not. If the divination shows negative, then you can officially ask the God again, but usually is not really needed. But that is another way. Okay, so you see, getting help from the God is so easy, right? You don't need to care so much about the language part. However, okay, learning the spells and doing them right, reciting the spell right, and then chanting them, practicing them is part of the process. Okay, think about it this way. Like if you never learn how to write, you never learn the ABCD, you never learn how to spell the word, you cannot do the scribble. You cannot write like a doctor. You need to have those things in your mind first, and then you can scribble, right? So it's a process. It's like you have to grow from there and then to, the mature stage. So before you can actually, like, write like a doctor, you need to know those letters. You need to know what they are, right? If you don't know, then you follow and copy the book strictly out of the book. So for newbies, I would say like newbies, the best way is like, you want to go safe. Well, you say the spell out clean and clear first, okay? Because you don't have enough power and experience and such in you to do it like, the professional way. So you can go like clean and clear kind of reciting. It's fine, okay? Being like that is totally normal. But you don't have to have the stress inside like, oh, my whole life is going to be like that, This is like a process. After you mature up to a certain stage, I will tell you, and you will also know, like at that stage, it's super fast. Like doing magic is super fast. You don't need to be like, like doing a whole show for people. It's not like that. For example, you just like, you have a tub of water in your bathtub, and you want to like make the tub of water to turn into a magical water to cleanse your body, so you can like go inside, soak yourself, and then detox the bad energy out, right? You want that to happen? Okay, no problem. Well, like the typical way, you can like write a fu and then use that fu to like burn into a bucket and so on, and then you mix it into the water, and now you have like a fu water bath, right? Well, if I am doing it, I could have just like ring the bell at the altar, and then what did I mean? Well, why did I ring the bell? Because I want the God there, the Zhou right, to help me convert the water, to make it powerful, to make it like have these and that effect. I just ring the bell, and the God knows already. Why do I have to do everything? Like all the other stuff. I don't need to, right? Why? Because my God knows me. Because I have cultivated my God. The God knows me. We have a relationship. It's like someone at home. They know what I want. So simple, right? I have a tub of water open. Why don't they know what I want? Obviously, I want that kind of help, right? It's not like I open the tub of water. That means you need to like, take my dog outside for a walk. No way, right? It doesn't even make sense. So why did I open that tub of water? The thought is there. I ring the bell, the thought transferred already, and your God already knows, and they will do their job. You see, when you get good at magic gets easier and easier and easier and faster, because that's supposed to be how it is. And this is like a secret in many lineage that like a lot of people might not even know. Or even if they know, they may not even want to teach it, because it's like not that, like, suddenly the teachings are kind of like, a lot of stuff is not needed, but at the same time it's not. You do need the stuff. Like the complex stuff, reading out all the words, the spells, they are needed. They are like the foundation. But it's just that after you got the foundation, the next stage is the fun stage, where everything like goes really what we call pre-heaven, which is like they're not even in the same language anymore. They're not in Chinese anymore, like that. Sometimes like spells will turn pre-heaven and they turn into like kind of like a melody, like a song, like a song, right? For example, like if I say, oh, you need to chant this spell 108 times or whatever, right? And the spell is like, for example, the spell is like this: Ten no sin, di no sin, dai no sin, zhong ning, give you like that. Well, if I chant it and it went pre-heaven, it might be like this. that. And then you're like, huh? What happened? Well, yeah, that is the pre-heavenized spell. And this is not like you can just make anything up, but it's more like you go through a stage of cultivation, and the power will turn into like that. Like when you try to say the spell, your body will know what to do, and you will have that kind of thing going on, and the spell turn into something else. It's like your spell transformed into something else, and that's what the god actually listen, and not the human. So human don't know what they're doing. Like you're not like it's not like you are not knowing what you're doing, but more like the human won't be able to understand what you're saying. Okay, but the guy will, because that's pre-heaven. Okay, so this is like one of the biggest secrets, and you guys are like, if you're a newbie learning in our lineage, you should not be so afraid of the language part. As you learn, like you will see very soon, you mature to a stage where, like, after you practice the heart spell a lot and you get it, inside you, strongly implant into you, then your heart spell will come in a snap. Usually, if you hold the incense, you recite the heart spell. It's like Sam no zu xiao dai and you still need to kind of recite it, right? But when you get good at it, it's like 1 second or half a second, and then you already stomped your foot. It's done already. Okay, so if you still have that little doubt, like you're kind of worried, did I do it right? If you have that worry, then you're not ready. If you do it and you don't have that worry, that means you're okay. But you can also test yourself. Like, if I have to say it out again, can I say everything out again, clean and clear? If you cannot, well, go back and practice more. You're not ready yet. Okay, so now this is one of the biggest secrets, is that God reads the pre-heaven energy and not our post-heaven language. Okay, so God can read like a dot, a line, a little tick or whatever on the paper, because of the intention behind, and they don't read the exact like language or words or drawings that you put on the paper. So you could be drawing like anything, because of the intention. The God will read the intention, and it will mean different things to the God. You can write like one line, and the God knows whatever you mean. Okay, so this is what the God actually reads, not the physical or like the actual language. Okay, so this is very useful for you guys who are about to learn in our lineage, because it takes your worry away from the language part. You see, as you go, you don't really need to learn the language. But all these things in Chinese, like the spells and such, they are like a process for you. It's a process. Like you learn it to cultivate, to train, to get stronger, right? It's like you have to train in it. You need the foundation. But you don't have to speak that language in order to learn the magic. Okay? So anyway, time's up. My timer is ringing already. So that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching, guys. And again, if you want to learn Taoist Magic, you can go to our website, teenyetdragon.com, to get ordained. We will accept disciples anywhere, so you don't need to come. We'll be doing the ceremony on our end to get you ordained, and then you'll be learning from us through the internet with the Line app. We have lessons on Zoom and so on, so there will be some learning like going on with the like chat format. Some is in video format, some is like live lessons and so on. So contact us to inquire if you have more questions, and welcome to raise any question for the podcast as well. So if you want to know about anything, feel free to leave it on the comment section. We can use that as our next topic maybe. So yeah, thanks for listening, and share out the links. Thanks for supporting the series, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.